Hello everybody, welcome to the last video of this series. We've been talking about Copilot, the interaction between user and Copilot, and how can we prevent Copilot from accessing our sensitive information. We talked about sensitive info types, the way to discover the data. We talked about the labels, the way to encrypt and protect the data. Today we're going to talk about how to prevent the data from leaving our environment. And we're back at compliance.microsoft.com. That's our Purview homepage, landing page. Today we're going to talk about data loss prevention. A way for us to prevent sensitive labels from leaving the environment. We know that Obsidian is sensitive in nature. We need to protect that. So if you look at our policies here, I do have a policy for Project Obsidian. So let's take a look at that policy, see how can we prevent the information from being shared outside the organization. So looking at the policy itself, the policy I'm going to target email, SharePoint, and OneDrive. That's the three main workloads that we're going to target for this particular policy. I could create one for Teams or devices. For example, if you use the product Obsidian, I could prevent you from printing that information. I can do that with DLP for devices. But today, we're going to concentrate on Exchange, SharePoint, and OneDrive. Looking at the policy itself, let's keep looking at the policy itself. So I can create a rule for the policy. I create a simple rule here. Let's take a look at the rule. The rule is actually the heart of DLP, data loss prevention. And let's look at our condition. It's almost like an if-and-then statement. So if the content of the file, the email that we're working on, has a sensitive info type. Remember, a sensitive info type is the word Obsidian. So if the email has the word Obsidian, or if a file that was attached to the email has the word Obsidian, anywhere in the email has the word Obsidian, or the file itself has the word Obsidian, or I say any of these, not all of these, so any of these, or the file is labeled. Remember, when we talk about label, that's the way we protect our document. Has a label Project Obsidian, or if the email has a label Project Obsidian. So if any of these conditions are true, does have to be both of them. So any of these conditions are true because we know that Project Obsidian is sensitive in nature and we need to protect that information. Okay. And let's say you try to share that with somebody outside the organization. What I can do there, I can stop you on your tracks. Okay, so if you're trying to send an email that contains the Obsidian word, which is, we know this Project Obsidian is secret in nature, I will stop you. Or if you send an email that has a file that contains a label Project Obsidian, I will stop you. Or if you send an email that's labeled Project Obsidian, I can stop you from sharing the information outside the organization. I can stop from you sharing to anybody inside the organization, right? I can just stop you. So this is a function of data loss prevention. So remember, going back from the beginning, we create a sensitive info type to discover what's sensitive on our environment. We created a label to make sure we encrypt the data, make sure the right people has access to the right information. Let's not overshare information here, just enough access. Okay, and now we create a DLP policy, a data loss prevention policy, to stop people from sharing that not only outside the organization, but we can create a rule inside the organization as well. Now, DLP policy is an action that will stop that. But going back to Copilot, wouldn't be nice to have a mechanism to discover what kind of questions they are asking in the organization. And we can do that. We can do that with communication compliance. So communication compliance, now we're back. Now we see a different tool, communication compliance. And in communication compliance, we can set up a policy just for Copilot. Okay, just for the Copilot interaction. So we have one here. Let's take a look at the policy, how the policy looks like. So this is Copilot's uh, interaction. So we're going to monitor the interaction that's happening with Copilot. Let's click next here. I am going to scope this policy for all the users. I could add scope this policy just for, a particular subset of users. But in my case, I do want to monitor Copilot for everybody. I want to know what's being asked. Okay. And then again, the location is Copilot interaction. I could monitor on Exchange, but I do want it to monitor in Copilot interaction. I want to know what people are asking Copilot for, what they asking Copilot. And again, inbound, outbound, and internal, the condition. I'm going to leave the condition blank. And the reason why I'm going to leave the condition blank is because I actually want to see all the interactions from Copilot. Okay. Now, if I want to narrow the scope down, I could come over here and add a condition that says uh, the content match any of the sensitive info types. And remember, I can add my sensitive info type here. That is product Obsidian. So I could add project Obsidian here to where I only monitor interactions from Copilot that contains Project Obsidian. Okay, but in our case, we're not going to do that, so let's go ahead and delete that. So because I do want to monitor all the information. Okay, and I hit next here, and that's how simple. This is how simple creating that policy for communication compliance is. And what communication compliance does is will monitor and will send me an alert if somebody is asking questions about a sensitive term like Project Obsidian. Okay, if somebody is sending that information, I'll get an alert so I can monitor those alerts. So let's take a quickly look and see how those alerts look like. So under again, I'm back to communication compliance. I'm back into that policy, and I can see there are a couple of alerts pending. So let's go ahead and take a look at those alerts and see what the communication is all about. Now you can see that somebody, Alex, did a communication with Copilot. He did a communication with Copilot, and this is the file that this is what Copilot generated. Okay, so this is Copilot said Alex uh, uh, generated a response to Alex question. If you want to know the Alex questions, it's you can do here the Alex and Copilot a question, and that's the question that he sent. List all the files associated with Obsidian. So as you can see now that I can be alerted. I can be alerted uh, if people are asking Copilot questions that they should not be asking. Okay, and then I can investigate. And so we looked at a lot of stuff on these videos. I hope you guys found these videos helpful. Uh, Remember, if you like those videos, click the like button. If you like to subscribe, please subscribe to my channel. Otherwise, guys, thanks for hanging with me. I appreciate it. More videos to come. Thanks.